Hello, welcome to Your Business Live, brought to you by Connexx. It's not really brought to you by Connexx, it's just fun to say it like that, as if Connexx is putting on, or it's a whole full media platform. Not yet. Working on our way there, and our guest today is going to help us get there. We have Your Business Live and started doing it a couple weeks ago because being part of Connexx, and if you don't know what Connexx is, it's a personal and business development team. We say it like that, and we say team because together everyone achieves more. You have lots of different networking groups. Many are familiar with the BNIs, LaTips, IBO. Any of these different groups are all basically the same with different names. What makes Connexx much different is it's not bound by an individual chapter in one location. It's people working together, not just one per industry, but people working with others in our community of Connexx to improve the ideas of marketing, advertising, creative ideas, making suggestions to one another, and of course, referring business. But we believe that what's more important than what someone does is the person themselves. So at Connexx, we put the person before the profession. And we use this time on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 12:15 to find out about our members. So in the other groups, you might get 5 minutes every 8 months, 10 months. You get to speak in front of the group. Here, it's not just speaking to the group. It's speaking directly to the people that might hear what your service is and want to hire you because they're looking for whatever it is that you offer. I apologize for the cement truck that's driving by. Today's guest is someone that's relatively new to Connexx, about a month before COVID started. And I know some people who have hired him, have used him, and had only great things to say about him. So I'm excited to welcome on our guest today, Mr. Bennet Gold. Hey, Bennet, how are you? Welcome to Your Business Live. And if you could just give an introduction about yourself, what you do, and how long you've done it, and what got you into it.
Okay, hi, I'm Bennet Gold. My company is Gold2Creative, and I do advertising design. I've been doing this for, I'm afraid to say it, I've been doing this about 40 years. I graduated high school and got right into the job market. You know, I was a messenger at an ad agency in the city. And, you know, what a messenger was for you youngins prior to FedEx, prior to fax machines, prior to emails, there were people that would go around and they would deliver stuff. So I used to deliver different, you know, it was an ad agency that dealt mostly with retail. So I would bring garments to artists, they would draw them. And, you know, I slowly started learning the field. You know, when I wasn't out running around, I was in the studio learning things. I actually, when I started, I wanted to be a veterinarian. My first year in high school was at a specialized high school for small animal care. One of the credentials was that I had to spend a summer on a farm. At that point, this city-born kid decided farm life's not for me, so I opted for another career. And I started dabbling in a little architecture. You know, I always had a love for art. And, you know, when I graduated high school, my sister actually worked in an ad agency. She got me this job as a messenger. And, you know, I learned a lot doing that. I went to college part-time. I went evenings, weekends, summers, just to get a degree. Unfortunately, the degree was somewhat useless because they didn't teach computers back then. I graduated about 2 years later. Computers started coming out, computer graphics. You know, I worked in ad agencies. I worked I worked for an entertainment ad agency. We did all the Broadway advertising. A lot of the Atlantic City hotels did advertising for them. And I thought it was time to move on, so I moved over to the medical pharmaceutical industry. And I worked in the city for a couple of years doing that. I bought my house here on Long Island. And before I even moved into my house, I was offered a job for another ad agency in Westchester County. So I commuted for about 7, 8 years from Dix Hills, Long Island, to Westchester County. And after that, I just started fizzling out. I figured there has to be an easier way. I had a good salary, good job, but it was draining. So I decided to start freelancing around, worked for some Long Island agencies, some city agencies, started picking up my own clientele, and 24 years later, here I am.
And your work that you do now, what does it mainly consist of? What fills the majority of your day with the projects that you're working on?
Most of my work is design. So I would do things like logo design, any kind of printed material design, website design. Uh, I do some copywriting, but I would say the bulk of my business is in design.
And when you're working with a client, how are you determining the designs that you use? And does that go just into websites, or is that for all marketing materials that you might be providing?
Well, I sit with the client. Or Zoom with the client these days. I pick their brain, try to find out, who they're trying to reach, who their target is. Try to get a sense of style. What colors do they like? What kind of do they like something whimsical? Do they like something serious? So I pick their brains, and then once I get some information, I could start the design process. Sometimes it's not so easy. I could ask somebody something as simple as, "What's your favorite color?" And you get these, "Oh, I don't know," you know. So have to be a little bit of a mind reader too.
When you are working with a client, excuse the truck passing me. When you're working with a client, um, I know branding is something that comes up very often. If a client doesn't have a clear brand identity, are you helping to establish that with them, or do you tell them to go work on that and come back when they have something?
No, I work with them on that. Any successful advertising or marketing is consistency. So you really do need a brand, and that brand needs to be carried over in all your marketing material.
How would you define what a brand is for anyone that has a business out there but not a clear message with the brand?
Well, a brand, you can have your business brand, so that would be your logo, a tagline, a certain look and feel. It could also be a personal brand. Uh, for instance, when I'm not doing Zoom, when I'm out and about, I'm always wearing a vest. And a lot of people know me from that vest that I wear. So, it could be just a lot of things. It's just, branding is really just getting recognized. No matter how you do it, that's the whole key to it.
What would you say distinguishes you or differentiates you from others in the same industry or field?
Well, I've been in business a long time. I survived a lot more than other agencies. Um, I've been around from the beginning of websites, so I was there at the forefront of it all. I have a lot of experience prior to computer, which is really helpful as far as design goes. And when you're always dealing with me, so I don't sub things out. I do everything on my own. Uh, so if there's an issue or a problem, you could contact me, and I could take care of that for you.
When you are doing websites per se, um, I want to say it in the right way where it's not in any kind of offensive. The word cookie cutter comes to mind only because I've seen people who design websites, and the issue that I've had with even people that I've met with or talked to about hiring is they'll show me other companies or businesses that they've done, and they are just going to flip out and plug in your information to it. What do you do to make each client's website in particular unique to them, to where it doesn't just look like it's someone else's just trading out the name and the colors?
Well, I don't use templates. You always start from scratch. Uh, Unfortunately, if you look hard enough, you're always going to find something similar, whether it's a website or even a logo. There's just so much out there these days, and it's so easily accessed. But I don't rely upon templates. I try to keep things simple. I really believe in simplicity. The idea is you don't want to lose your viewer, and then the first couple of seconds are vital. If you have something busy, if you have something, too confusing, too much text, you're losing them. So I really, do everything from scratch, keep it easy to read, and it seems to work. Some people do request, especially I have a lot of attorneys, a lot of copy, and I just have to deal with it. I try to talk them into cutting it back, but some people just like to go on and on.
What's a piece of advice that you would have for someone who maybe already has a website? They don't think that they need to have you look at it or revamp it. What's a piece of advice or something that everyone should go out and look at on their own website that they might not be aware of, or something that they should have?
Well, you want to look at a website as a viewer, not as the owner. And that holds true with any kind of marketing material. I find a lot of people, they write as if they're talking to peers, but that's not who you're trying to sell. You're trying to sell people. So you want to talk in their language. And, when I tell people to review their site, say, look it over, look how much content you have, try to cut it back. Bullet points are great. You don't have to write everything. If you write too much, then people have no reason to call you. So you just want to tease them a little bit, give them a little sampling of what you do, and then entice them to pick up the phone and call you.
That's interesting, because often you'll see, I think the Connexx site might have that, for more information or if you have questions. So you're suggesting to have some kind of call to action, to where you want them to call. You don't want them to get everything from the website.
Yeah, if you want a good call to action, you want, you can have a contact. Good thing to do to get people to contact is, maybe just something as simple as, uh, sending them a downloadable tip sheet, 10 tips on whatever. If you're a real estate agent on purchasing a home, for instance, so anything, people love free. So anything you have on there, to send something to somebody is pretty useful.
And I know that you have not been a member of Connexx for long before COVID started, but I guess you've been a member longer during COVID than you have prior to COVID.
Yeah.
Uh, what what would you say about it, or how has it helped your approach or your business in the time you've been in?
I think Connexx has been great. It's been really good for me. One-to-ones are really important, and I find on Connexx, we're able to Zoom one-to-one. I still prefer meeting people in person, but the one-to-one, you find people are just easy to get hold of. Well, especially now when everyone's on lockdown.
Definitely. I was just talking to someone about that before we did this. How that personal touch and getting together. This isn't something that we're all used to, communicating this way, but as I've said, and I think you would agree to it, if this is the future and this is how it's going to be, and even if businesses are going to incorporate Zoom more than they had in the past, whether it's not leasing the same office space and accomplishing more meetings on a weekly basis by having Zoom or some kind of virtual way to go about it. I think it might be here to stay. Yes, it will be like a hybrid of in-person meetings as well as this. But for anyone who doesn't like it, I've told everyone it's not going to go away. So it's like saying music doesn't sound as good on CD as it did on record. You can hold on to all your old records, but the likelihood of most people having a turntable, because that's just not the way people do things anymore.
Right.
So, Sean, any questions that have come up? Have you seen an uptick in requests for websites due to COVID?
Not really. Not really. I've seen more e-blasts doing more of that type, but websites not too much. I think people are also kind of leery of spending money right now. They don't know where their businesses are going to go.
You know, to speak to that point, because I was talking about it with someone else in your line of work, and they made a really good point that I want to say right here for anyone that sees it. A lot of people are very nervous right now and don't want to spend money because they don't have the business or things are slow. But this is a time where you have to double down, because if your industry's been affected, it's the people that are getting out front and center and getting eyes on them so that you can then get your next job or piece of business. So any kind of marketing or advertising is an investment in your company, because to sit back and do nothing will most likely result in the phone not ringing and nothing. So
Absolutely.
anyone that doesn't have a website updated, if you did I spoke to family members and I said, your website is more than 5 years old. Now would be the best time to update it and get it out there, because lots of people are on social media and looking around now. What else, Sean? Pop up another. Are you a one-man shop?
Yes, I am. I did have people in the past, and I just found, I'm really a perfectionist. I'm picky. I'm a pain in the ass, and you know, and working with people, I found that I did have employees, and if they gave me something, and if I wasn't crazy about it, I ended up reworking it myself instead of giving it back to them. So that being said, I just find, it's just easier doing me.
What's the price for a website? Like what's a safe number to start at, and the ones that you're, and this pertaining to you, not in general, but like for the websites that you typically work on, what's like a starting price and what could it go up to?
They really range. I don't get into super, crazy sites. I believe in simplicity. So, a typical small site starts at about 1,500, and it could go up to as much as 5,000. A lot of the time involved in a site is, it's not even designing it; it's doing the SEO and all that back end stuff. So, that could be kind of time consuming.
And can you let everyone know what is SEO and why does someone need to be aware of that when having a website built?
Both search engine optimization, and you need it for certain things. Even as far as putting your location in, somewhere's in the website. This way, if somebody's Googling, say, a network group, Long Island network group, Connexx would pop up because in your website it says Long Island. So it's really important to use a lot of these keywords that, people would type in Google and you will come up. Now, you don't always come up on page one like some people tell you you're going to be. It could take a long time to get up there. It could take a lot of money to get up there as well. And once you're up there, doesn't mean you're staying up there. So you have to constantly keep on it.
And is there one more, Sean? What technology framework do you use for your websites? Is there a platform that you prefer?
I use WordPress, I use Muse, and I use Wix. I've been using Wix a lot more because a lot of my clients like to be able to go on and make their own edits. And Wix is just a really easy platform to use. It also came a long way over the years. It has pretty good back end, pretty good support. So, that's kind of what I tend to use for the people who like to do their own.
Do you do your own hosting?
I do, but I usually do it through the domain, through the whether it's Wix or GoDaddy. I don't, it's really, I'll do it for convenience to the client, but it's not something that I make money on.
Yeah. And if there's one more, Sean. I think that's SEO. Do you also offer just SEO services?
No, I'll do it with, if I'm doing a website, I'll do it, but I don't just offer that alone.
Okay. All right. Well, I think it gives some good information. So basically, the takeaway is let me see if I summed it up right and you can correct me. So you've got, we'll call it 40 years experience with advertising and marketing the old school way before computers even existed. You have a background in design and an artistic eye, so you have a creative element to you. Any of the websites that you do, you're not doing it from a template. You're building it custom for that client that you're working with, in which you'll meet with and find out what their wants and needs are. And then you are working with the client to help design a website to their liking. You can also handle the SEO and the back end so that it's not just building a beautiful storefront, but it's actually building the storefront on a public road so people see the storefront versus being hidden in an alleyway. I just threw that part in. I thought it would go well. And you're a one-man shop, so if you're reaching out to you, we're going to get you. We're not going to get someone else having to relay the message to you, so the response time will be fast.
Yes. And, and also to keep in mind is, there are a lot of other ways to get your business out there, not just, websites and over the computer. Direct mail is really important. Print's really important. And if I sit with especially a startup business, I'll give them a plan. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You want to spread it out, see what works best, and then, you figure out what's working better, and you could put more of your time and money into that.
And you still have clients getting a return with print advertisement.
Oh, yeah.
Direct mail.
Mail does very well these days. For instance, you get an email, most people don't read their emails. If you get something in the mail and if it's attractive, chances are you're going to pick it up and look at it.
But you would say that certain industries are going to do better with a direct mailer or print than others.
Yeah. So, contractors, restaurants, they do happen to do very well with mailings.
Yeah, makes sense. All right. Well, thank you, Bennet, for taking the time to be with us today. I hope people have learned some more about you. I feel that I did pick up a couple of things I was not aware of. So I think this is, I think you did a great job in presenting yourself. For ways to contact Bennet, you can get him directly at his phone number, which is listed right underneath me. Have his email there and his website, which everyone's going to go and look at your website to be like, it's like a contractor. If their house isn't up to par, then you're not going to hire that contractor.
Well, hopefully it's up to par.
Yeah, fantastic. We'll check that out. So thank you, Bennet. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of Connexx. And I hope you hear from lots of people and let us know. And Sean, if I can just remind anyone that is a part of Connexx who just saw this interview, or if you're watching a replay later on, if you guys can share it, because the advantage to doing what we're doing right now with these interviews is not just the individual or you seeing it, hearing it, it's you spreading it by sharing, so more of your contacts and the people that know you watching this will will now find people who offer services that they may be looking for. And if you go onto any Facebook groups, you'll constantly see people asking for suggestions. The goal here with Connexx is someone who's needing something is going to hear us talking about it, and you can get more than just a name, but you can get to know the individual, and that's more important. Sean, come on up. Let's see what you're wearing today. Look at that. It's another blue shirt, but in a different shade.
A lighter shade.
All right, so in the comments, if everyone who saw Sean yesterday and saw Sean today, do we prefer Sean in the royal blue button down or the light blue? I'll be curious to check that out. If I had to give my pick, I'm going to say it's about equal, Sean. I liked the color yesterday. It wasn't royal. It was more of like a bright. It was. How would you define that blue, Sean? What color would that be yesterday?
Go for a maybe an electric blue.
Electric blue. Yeah. Yeah. And the things that you say are shocking, so that's a good choice of words. I'm going to go with the light blue. I think it brings out your eyes more. Yeah, look at those baby blues. Sean looks good in blues. I agree. Royal, I thought royal's more of a deeper. Oh, all right. I stand corrected. They say royal. Well, Sean is royal or royalty, one or the other. What do you think of what Bennet said? Did you learn anything new?
I did. I thought it was a great interview. Bennet is someone who I've actually referred before, and the feedback that I've got was, he was very attentive, did a great job, and I would definitely refer him again. And it just shows, not only is Connexx great for building relationships, but it also helps getting you out of your comfort zone. I think Bennet and I are similar, in the fact that we're not natural type A personalities like yourself, Chris, but with enough practice and I think both of us have been more confident in front of a large group. So so I commend Bennet for that. He had a great interview just now.
The feedback I've gotten about Bennet is, or the most common thing I've heard about him is he's extremely professional, and I think it's the little touches when it comes to professionalism where what's in your background, especially because Zoom is so prevalent now with our meetings. I'm not saying it's bad, but when I'm on a Zoom call with someone and I can see a bed behind them, and if it's not made, it's going to sway my confidence in working with someone in really any area. I mean, if that was my accountant, or if that was like a telemedicine appointment and the doctor's bed is unmade and there's like utensils and dirty silverware and dishes next to them.
Yeah, I mean, I had to build the whole brick wall.
Absolutely. And Casey just slides bread and water underneath the door so you can eat today. Yes. And I had to move out to the wilderness just so I could have this. Well, Sean, like usual.
Yep. Thank you.
You are fantastic and a wonderful wingman. I would like to see Bennet wearing the blues and you wearing the vest. We'll do like a mix it up day. Mix it up for the introverts. You guys can wear each other's fashions. That day, Jacqueline and I'll switch. I'll wear pink and she can grow a beard. Or
Sounds great.
We'll get her a makeup artist. All right. Well, Sean,
all right. Thank you.
As usual, Sean, the greatest sidekick in the history of midday podcasting, video conferencing on whatever platform we're using for the day. We will have our morning meeting tomorrow for Connexx. Anyone that is a member of Connexx should be on that call tomorrow, 7:15 to 8:30 a.m. Line opens at 7 a.m. for anyone that wants to get on and say, what's up? If you would like to be sent the link and check it out, if you have a business and you're looking to get more business and meet a community of people who very much will care for your business, take pride in it, and promote the hell out of you, check us out at getconnexx.com and fill out the register for a meeting. we have our Wednesday morning meeting, and starting not next week, because I did not realize that it's 4th of July weekend that Monday. So the Monday after, we start our Monday evening meeting. So whether morning or evening is more convenient, we've got a meeting for you. With that being said, from Sean and I, thank you for sticking with us for this 30 minutes today. Have a wonderful day and hope to see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.